Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm quite excited to share with you my recipe for homemade burger buns. They are very soft and fluffy, and this burger will take your burgers to a whole new level of deliciousness. But before we dive into the recipe, let's take a moment to appreciate the history behind this burger. Can you believe that something as simple as a burger has such a fascinating history? It all started in the 18th century when street vendors in Europe began serving meat patties between slices of bread. But it wasn't until the late 19th century that burger buns, as we know them today, began to take shape. Legend said that in 1885, two brothers named Charles and Frank Menches were operating a food stand at the Erie County Fair in Ohio, in US, and one day they ran out of pork for their sandwiches. But before we go any further, let's check the recipe. And don't worry, the process is much easier than you think. So grab your ingredients and let's get started. The first step is to gather all our ingredients and weigh them accurately. This precision is very important to ensure the perfect texture and consistency of our burger buns. So grab a proper scale and just measure your ingredients. Now in a large bowl, put all the ingredients and mix it for 3 minutes in first speed and 4 minutes in second speed. Then you add the butter and you put 4 minutes again in second speed. And as you can see, after the first speed, the dough is quite hard and the gluten network is not done at all, so you can go for the second speed now. So after 4 minutes in second speed, you can quickly check the dough, add the butter and put 4 more minutes in second speed again. And now let's get back to our story. Some Menches brothers needed some bread, so they decided to use ground beef instead. But there was one problem. They needed something to hold their meat creation. So Frank, being resourceful, rushed to a nearby bakery and bought some soft, buttery rolls. And just like that, the first burger buns were born. Since then, burger buns have become an essential part of the burger experience. Bakers and chefs around the world experiment with different types of buns, adding their own unique flavors and texture. And today, we have a variety of options, from classic sesame seed buns to fluffy brioche buns to cater to every lover's preference. So now that we know the quick history behind these amazing burger buns, let's jump right into making our very own. Once the dough is mixed, it's time to let it rest for about 10 minutes. This short resting period allows the gluten to relax, make it much easier to handle and shape the dough later on. After the initial rest, divide the dough into equal portions. In this recipe, it's 110 grams. And once divided, take each portion and shape it into a smooth, round ball by tucking the edges underneath. Place the dough balls onto a lined baking sheet or a wooden board like me, leaving some space between them. Now you can cover them with a clean kitchen towel and let them rest for another 10 minutes. This rest allows the dough to relax further and makes shaping the buns much easier. After this second rest, it's time to shape our burger buns. Take each dough ball and gently flatten it with the palm of your hand, forming a disc shape, or you can use this kitchen tool and just do like me. Flip the bun over onto some wet tissue and then put it into some sesame seed and place it back on the baking sheet. Once all the buns are shaped, let them proof for about 1 hour and 30 minutes at a warm temperature of around 27 degrees Celsius and pretty much around 81 degrees Fahrenheit. This proofing time allows the dough to rise and double in size, giving us those light and fluffy buns we crave. And that's what I use to humidify the buns. It's like some hard tissue completely covered with water. I also want to give you a few tips for this recipe, so we're gonna start now with the first one. As usual, take your time and be patient. Don't rush the resting and proofing time. These periods are crucial for the texture and flavor development of the buns. You can experiment with toppings and flavors. Sprinkle some sesame seeds like this recipe, or you can put some poppy seeds on top of the bun before baking, or oat flakes, whatever you want is possible. And last tip, store any leftover bun in an airtight container just to maintain their freshness. They can be enjoyed for several days or frozen for future use. Finally, preheat your oven to the recommended temperature and carefully place the proofed buns inside. Bake them for about 15 minutes or until they turn into a beautiful golden brown color. And there you have it, a delicious batch of homemade burger buns with a side of history. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, find the historical tidbits as fascinating as I did, and now it's time to try and eat your favorite burger, knowing that you made it from scratch. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more delicious recipes, and leave a comment below sharing your experience. Until next time, happy cooking, bon appétit!